Shalom, shalom. I forgot my sound, and I don't think I'm going to be able to go and get it. So, no, I'm going to get my sound. Hold on one second. One actual second. Let me go get my sound. No EI. All right. Forgot my sound. Just one moment. Have these technical difficulties, i.e., I forgot my sound. I forgot my music. I forgot my background noise. Give me one moment. Get this together. I like this one. All right. Now, let's start this live stream for real. Shalom, everyone. It is your girl, Sophia, and we are here to talk a little bit. Oh, no, sir. I don't need a cameraman. We are here to talk just a little bit about Pentecost, Ascension Day, which is right around the corner. And uh, I thought this would be a good time to elaborate a little slightly bit on what understanding I have about what it looks like with the return of the black dove, which is right here around the corner. Coincides with Pentecost, coincides with I think it's the new moon or the full moon. Hold on, which one is coming up on Thursday? I think it's the new moon. Is that correct? Coincides with the new moon. Um, Pentecost coincides with the new moon. The return of the black dove. It all comes at the same time. And from what I now understand, here's how the date selection went for King Charles in his not inauguration, but his coronation. Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry. Here's how the coronation selection went. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit. Apparently, this is what I can gather. And the reason why this is important is because it completely misses Pentecost. They tried every possible way they could to ride the chops of our brother, and without actually riding the actual chops, which is it's so unusual. Why people do this? I just don't have any understanding of these people, man. They just all over the place. I'm all over the place, trying not to be, but it's quite not working. We're 4 minutes in. Okay, so coronation. Coronation was selected based on Elizabeth's birthday, and also I found out that she was born on a full moon. She was born on the eclipse, and so what they tried to do in that coronation of Charles is to harness that energy and tie it to him. However, we know that the monarchy has a problem. One of the problems that they have in the monarchy is that there's no women in line for the crown. And that is a very, very large problem because this is going to, everyone knows the system is converting over to a matriarchal control. And so if it's converting over to matriarchal control, and excuse me, sir, you're interrupting my live stream and I'm going to put you out. Okay? Thank you. If we're converting over to matriarchal control and, they have no women to actually come and be in charge, this is a huge problem. It has to be divine feminine energy, which Charles does not have, which William does not have, and which George does not have, little Prince George. So None of them have this. I also think it's interesting that they named their child Prince George, which is where I'm from, Prince George's County. Um, so that also does not seem to be a coincidence. It's just something I didn't pick out sooner. So that is the energy that they tried to harness. They also attempted very much so to harness the energy of Yeshua by using the cross, pieces of the cross, the stone of destiny, and all of these things. And none of these things actually worked. And so you have people now that are basically in this scrambling mode. And so there's a picture, the official portrait of King Charles. He is holding what looks to me like a bottle of Chambord. But one of the sisters pointed out that it is the representation of an astrolabe, as if he can control the world, control the dates, control the seasons, control any of this stuff. He's holding that in his gigantic fingers. And so this is a huge problem. These things are not going to go well for them. And I just wanted to point out that they were indeed using that energy that was from the what you call it, the eclipses and all of that. Now, here's the problem. We know that Pentecost is right around the corner, and of course, this is the day that Yeshua ascended. So this would be just about. It's not fully after Easter. It's like it coincides with the Feast of First Fruits. It's the day that the Holy Spirit descended. This day is very rapidly approaching. Coincides with the new moon. Coincides with a lot of other astrological things that are going on right now. And so, if you are at all tuned into these things, you may notice, like Sister Pat said in her video, that it feels as if the Most High is not here, and that your senses have been turned off. A lot of people, before I heard Sister Pat's video, I've heard many people talk about how they don't feel the spirit the way that they used to. And of course, these are people that don't really do cards, because you can always feel the spirit when you do cards. But if you are not familiar with cards, you don't flip your own cards, you may feel like, I've also heard people saying that they don't feel like the pendulums are not working like they normally would. It's a lot of odd things. And I think that is just due to this time period that we're in. The time period between Easter, Pascha, whatever, and the Ascension is a very weird time, because you have to remember what was going on with Yeshua at this time. At this time, he was walking the earth, right? So he had risen from the grave, but he hadn't ascended into heaven. So this was a time when I would almost call it like retrograde for the Most High, because, with Yeshua being in this position where he was a God walking amongst men at this point, this is a very precarious time. And so people would have, excuse me, I'm sorry, not that. So people would have necessarily, not necessarily been in direct communication with, the Most High like they normally would, because at this time the Most High, in the form of Yeshua, was walking the earth. And so, not as a man, but as God. And so this is a very interesting time. And this is a time when, people would have more so had to rely on their intuition, because this whole concept of being a God walking the earth is a very it's a very typical concept, but most Christians don't really perceive it like this. There's a very different understanding of it. And so what is being revealed to me is that okay, not no. What is being revealed to me is that this particular time, the way that this process works is that people are actually being encouraged to use their intuition more. And this is almost like a preparation for the descension of the black dove, for the Holy Spirit. And so this is important because I want people to understand that, I'm sorry, this boy. I want people to understand that it's not that the Most High is not here. It's that we are now being prepared for the actual descension of the Holy Spirit, which is a totally different way of functioning. What kind of functioning is this? I'm sorry, this has been a very long intro, but I needed to lay that foundation. What kind of functioning is this? The Holy Spirit, the mother, communicates in numbers. The numbers tell the whole story if you understand how to read the numbers. I have been making a lot of posts in regards to the number code and the actual, there's no zero, and uh, numbers start with one, and really it goes, oh Lord, pretty quickly from one to two. Just because when there's one, automatically there's two. And what I've, kind of discerned about that is the zero and the one were really always together. That is the phi symbol, which is a zero with a one through it. This is the union of the mother and the father. This is the phi symbol. Now, what is that also? There's something I posted a while ago called the Shiv Lingam. And the Shiv Lingam, or Shivling is what it's called, is from the Hindu pantheon, what they do. And previously, these devices were used to generate energy. And they have natural shivlings, or shivalingams, which I have one that I will show you. This is a natural shivalingam, and this is a stone, and you can see the shape. It's kind of egg shaped. This one is multicolored, and these are found in the rivers, in one particular river in India. You can get these on Etsy. I don't know. I got them 2 for $5, right? Literally 2 for $5. You can get them cheaper than that. They have bigger ones. What these do is, if you are a masculine, a man or a woman, and you feel out of balance with either your feminine or your masculine, whatever, if you feel out of balance, these stones will help to bring you back into balance. Okay, so I have been carrying this around for about a week, 2 weeks, I think now. This has been extremely helpful for me. This is called a shivling, or Shiva, Shiva, lingam, Lingham. I got this off Etsy. They were 2 for $5. Okay, and they have black ones. They have quartz ones, bunch of different shapes. The point of the matter is the shivling, in its form like this. When they have them in the temples, they sit on top of a thing that's kind of like this, right? It's kind of hard to describe, but it's kind of like this. It's a little, I don't have one yet, so I can't show it to you, but it's called a yoni. So you have this shivling that is actually sitting on top of what they call a yoni, and these things generate energy. Now you can buy one or you can make one. They make them very often out of like the little clay stuff in India. So if you buy one, it could be that it was handmade. Now they have these in a lot of these shivlings, like the whole thing together is called a shivling, right? They have these in I posted a video about this, but you can look it up. They have these in a lot of temples. And what's interesting about the fact that these are in temples is that the temples use these things to generate electricity. Why is that? Because when you have the phi ratio, the zero and the one combined, you have electricity. And I have not gone through all the science on this yet, but I am fairly convinced that this is how this works. And so I don't have all the information about that, but I did want to pass along that carrying that around with me has helped me to feel more balanced in my masculine, my feminine energy, me being a female, more into my feminine energy. As you can see, I finally actually did something to my hair. Like I feel, I don't feel weird about my feminine energy. I feel more balanced with my feminine energy, and it's definitely help me to balance out my masculine energy. So I highly recommend that. That is good for anybody. I will, as I get some more information about that, of course, I'll bring more, but I did want to talk about that. Now, another thing that I got, and I ordered this from the same people that I got the Shiva Lingams from. Um, and perhaps people have seen these before, but this is kyanite. Okay, this is a kyanite fan, and um, I can't remember who told me this, but you can look it up. In the spirit realm, this kyanite fan is like a sword. So what I'm doing with this and this together, I carry them together. So it's like for me protecting my feminine energy, right? My feminine, my masculine energy. And at night, I put this, I have it all in a little bag and I put it underneath my bed. And during the day while I'm out, I'm carrying it with me. So this is something I use as like a protection, like a sword to protect my divine feminine energy. And then I have this to balance out my energy. So I highly recommend the kyanite sword. It's called a kyanite fan. I just called it a kyanite sword. But you put these, you can carry it under your pillow. They have them already wrapped. You can wear it as a necklace. But this is definitely like a sword in the spirit realm. This thing is no joke. It has really helped me not to feel so attacked. And so another thing that I do now is right here behind me. Okay, so we're going to talk about this because I may have talked about this, but I definitely want to make sure that it's clear to everybody. This right here is a silk scarf. Okay, this is a real silk scarf. As you can see, it's basically see-through. I'm holding it over the screen. You can still see me. This is a silk scarf, 100% silk. Okay, being that this comes from an animal, the animal being the moth or whatever kind of whatever. Okay, being that that comes from an animal, that is actually good for, sir. Can you not do that? That is actually good for protection. So here's how I am using that. Now, I'm not wearing it on screen because I don't feel like that's necessary. I have my other protection stuff also. But when I leave out, shalom, shalom, when I leave out in the morning, because I'm having a very difficult time with my work situation. So it is a lot of people having this same difficult time. When I leave out in the morning, oh, okay, enough, 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 enough. Don't do that. I actually wrap this around my head so I don't cover my whole head. I wear it like a headband. I wrap it like this, right? And then I just tie it in the back. One of the days I had it wrapped like a bow, whatever. I wear this around my head in the morning when I'm going to deal with these people that have clearly lost their mind and don't know who I am or what I can do. I wear this when I'm around them. Now, this is my linen scarf. And so when I'm doing spiritual stuff or prayer or when I go to church, I will put on my linen scarf. And I wear this one a little bit differently. I will wear this one like this to cover my head like this, like they do in all the icons. They have the in the icons they all wear their scarves like this, and I'm sure that this is just so that all of their energy can go where they want it to go. So I will wear that one like this on Sunday when I go to church. But when I go out during the day, I just wrap this around my head, and it has definitely helped to protect me from these people and their energy. Because what I'm noticing now, there's a couple things going on. One thing is that people are getting like instant karma. So when people come up against me, particularly, I'm noticing that they have to deal with that right away. They're not getting this whole chance to kind of make it up or whatever the case may be. None of that is going on. They're having to deal with this crap right away. There's no grace periods anymore. And so I don't want to inadvertently be punished in the midst of somebody else being punished, which I noticed was actually happening to me. So I did a test of this. When I did not have this on, I would drive around and I didn't have this on, right? All kinds of crazy stuff would happen. Crazy stuff. And I was like, dang, what is going on? And then when I started wearing this, I noticed a lot of that stuff had stopped. And now I don't need it I actually just when I drive around now, just to make sure that these whatever entities that are erecting the judgment on these people, that they just skip over me. This is what I use. I mean, it could be the kyanite, it could be any number of things, but I feel like when I remember to wear the scarf, I have the most protection from, people's, bad stuff that's supposed to happen to them blowing back on me, because for a while I was like, dang, this is not supposed to happen to me. This is supposed to happen to someone else. And that was true. It's just that I didn't have the proper protection. So I use that as a part of my regular protection regimen now. I definitely wanted to share that. I got this off Etsy. I do believe it was about $20. This one too was about $20. I highly recommend. You want 100% silk and you want 100% linen. And Quentin, sir, no, 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 no. That's enough. Um, you you want something that will protect you. This is a very precarious time because judgment is happening. Not only is judgment happening, the Holy Spirit is coming, and we need to be prepared. So a lot of people are having problems with their jobs right now. And I did definitely want to say that, because what is happening is, again, it's the instant karma. It's that this stuff was always on people's hearts, right? But it didn't quite come out before. And so now they can't hide anything, especially from, people who have graduated, quote unquote, people who are tapped into the source energy. There's no more to this faking the funk and getting around and whatever they've been doing this whole time. We're not having any of that. They're having to deal with their stuff right away, and so you want to make sure that you don't accidentally get caught up in that, because that is something that I'm concerned about for our people, because we're just too nice. Now, I will say this: those who did enough, you're going to hurt yourself. Those who did the 22-day fast with us, we are still feeling the effects of that. What do I mean by that? Here's the thing: we petitioned the mother to erect judgment. We petitioned for judgment to go forth. We mourn the loss of the 2/3, those who had to go, and we petitioned them to get on with it. Like, whatever this thing that's going to happen, get on with it. We've had enough of the waiting. And so that is what we're seeing. We really push this, forward, by especially the mourning part. So a lot of people may notice that people start dying around them. People are being taken out. There are, no more, all of these things. These are things that we asked for, these people to be removed, because they had to go. They were causing too many problems. And so what you don't want to do is, bring them back when they need to be gone. What you dangerous. What you don't want to do is, you can say, Lord have mercy. This is why, I was talking about the Lord have mercy program. You can ask the Lord to have mercy, but you don't want to ask the Lord to bring them back. They need to stay. When they leave, whoever these people are, they need to stay gone. They do not need to come back and keep doing this mess over and over and over again, because what will happen is that you will be giving up your life energy in exchange for them to have more life. That's what they've been doing to us this whole time, and that's exactly what will happen if somebody who is taken out is brought back. Like, if it's time for them to go, they need to go. I feel like, or I'm just concerned, because I know that nobody is telling anybody this. I'm just figuring this out as I, listen to different readers, and listen to different messages and commune with the spirit. What another thing I would highly suggest is, if people are having a hard time adjusting to this, I will call it this ascension process, this new energy that's coming in. And let's say, for example, you have a job, right? And you don't really want to be at that job. the best thing that you can do to remove yourself from that situation would be to replace it with what you actually want. So if your thing is that you want to be more spiritual, you don't have time to work because you want to be more spiritual, right? You need more time to pray, more time to study. What you need to do is you have to do more prayer and more study. And what will happen is the spirit realm will remove the job and replace it with whatever is necessary because sorry about that, because you are doing the work to show them that you don't have time for what they have going on. So in my own case, right, like I've been working and stuff at the school, and that's becoming an issue. And so I told the spirit, I was like, well, I don't have time to do this stuff at the school because I have other stuff that I need to be doing. And as I began to say that and really feel it and really have other stuff to do, I don't have time to be at the school anymore, and I haven't completely come out of it yet, but it is very soon to happen. Oh Lord, I got a drummer right here. It is very soon to happen because I have replaced the time that I would be working with other stuff. And, some of it has been related to making money and some of it is just like personal stuff. So like, I don't live that I'm, close to the beach. Every morning I go to the beach and meditate, you know what I mean? And maybe it's not meditate every morning. Some mornings I'm just walking. Some mornings I only meditate. It depends on what it is. But as I have incorporated more of that into my schedule, I have less and less time to work. And the angelic realm has opened up different portals to bring in income as I have, dedicated more time to what is really important. And so that is the best advice I can give to any. What are you doing? Sorry. That is the best advice I can give to anybody who is currently in a job that they don't have time for because they want to be doing more spiritual things. Do more spiritual things as you can. I'm sorry. Uh, oh my goodness. Do more spiritual things as you can. And as you engage in more spiritual activities, then more things will come up that you will actually not be able to continue on at that position, and windows will open, doors will open. Now, that's weird. We do have an opportunity if people are looking to supplement their income with different things. Just I would say send me an email and I'll send you the information about it. It is for somebody who is literally serious about earning more money. You do have to spend some money, but it's not selling anything or anything like that. It's stuff that you can do from your cell phone. I do everything from my phone, and it gives me time to move around and do what I'm going to do. So I just highly suggest that people, if you're looking for something, send me an email. There's people that I need to schedule calls with. I will get back to you after this retrograde. That's another thing I want to talk about with this last 2 weeks of this retrograde. The first week wasn't too bad. I think I did a lot of readings that week. And it was somewhere around the middle of the second week where I was like, whoa, this is not no regular retrograde. And I had underestimated the energy at first. And now I really see how much I underestimated the energy. So people who I need to speak with, I'm sorry, I'm just getting to this point at 29 minutes in, but I will contact you once this retrograde is over. I simply cannot do it right now. The energy is way too much, and I'm really trying to maintain some sense of control, and it's really not working. So I will get back to you after the retrograde. And also, I'll be able to do shalom, shalom. I'll be able to do some more energy readings, shadow readings after the retrograde too. So look out for it'll be the same special. So you be on the lookout for that. this weekend after the retrograde is done. And so, my suggestion for people who have not really, who have done a lot of shadow work, right? I mean, they've done shadow work, but they seem to have hit a plateau. Okay, this is the thing about these shadow readings that I'm doing. I'm finding that a lot of people have very similar issues in related to their shadow. And the primary issue that I'm seeing is that people are not happy. They're unable to find the joy or unable to see the joy in what they're doing. Meaning everybody will be given their assignment, and you can go all around the world trying to figure out what your assignment is, and you will be brought back right to where the most high had you, and you will say, okay, so I had to go through all of this stuff just to come right back here. This is my experience. This is exactly what I'm going through. I went all around the world with all of this stuff thinking, okay, no, it's not this, no, it's not this, and here I am right back to business. I mean, business is my thing, one of my many things. But it's really one of my primary things, and I'm back now into business. It's not just using the cards or whatever as a business, but really thinking about how to use business to raise our people up, to help people out of their situations, and that whole theory that goes along with that. And so basically what I'm seeing is that everybody has it's a lot of the same. The How can I describe this? Okay. um Girl, yeah, that's not gonna last too much longer because the demons in these people, that's a good segue. Here's the thing. The demons that are attacking you, all they're doing is jumping from body to body. These are body jumpers. So one of the readers that I shared, um when I was listening to another one of her readings, I realized she was telling, and for me, it was multiple stories in one. And I said, well, how can multiple stories be in one story, but all these things have happened to me, but with different people? And I realized she wasn't telling the story of me and that person. She's telling the story of me and that demon that is following me or attacking me or whatever the case may be. And so that is what is happening to people. We think that it's a person that is attacking us. It's not a person. It's the demon that is attacking you. It's your lower self, your Judas energy, whatever you want to call it. It's that is attacking you. And so what it does is when you leave the person, if you haven't resolved that shadow, if you haven't resolved that issue, it just jumps on another person. So no matter what you do, until you resolve your shadow, you're going to keep dealing with the same things. So for some people, it's like men, right? Like you talk to this dude and this whatever, and then you break up with that one, and then you go to another man who's totally different. And then all of a sudden, he starts acting the same. It's not that he was the same, it's just that he was an open vessel for that demon. And so that demon is going to jump right onto him. This is literally how this is. I can see this in my life now. When I listened to a few of the girls' readings and I went back and I looked at my stories, I could see how, no, this was a bunch of different people. But guess what? It was the same demon jumping from person to person to person. A lot of people are open vessels, meaning I think the girl Fleur Brune talked about how there's a bunch of people who are NPCs, but she talked about it in the sense of they're literally just running a program. So when they come into your life, they don't have any, they just run the same program. But I think it's tie that in with the concept of how the demons are working. It's like that NPC is an open vessel for these demons. And so that the demon jumps on them, and while they are in your life, they are carrying out that same energy. And then when you get fed up with them and you get rid of them, they just jump into the next person that you start dealing with. Because why? I mean, maybe it's not the next person. Like for me, it couldn't jump into another man with me. So now it's like on all of these exactly. Like you can see it. Once you see how these things play out, you can literally see, oh, it's actually not that person. It's actually the demon that's in that person. So I noticed this, like, this is why I'm like saying, that whole, driving the bus thing is getting ready to be over, because the demon that I left in Maryland, when I was like working at the restaurant, it found me because it has an open vessel in these people at the school. So now that thing has jumped onto these people. And so since I can see it, I'm not gonna engage it. Like, you have to be smart when you're dealing with these entities, right? We are very, very smart, especially the women. You have to be smart when you're dealing with these entities. You have to know when it's time to confront them, and you have to also know when it's time to not confront them, meaning when it's time to be diplomatic. How can you tell this? Well, the numbers will tell you the whole story. So, for example, the number house that you live in, the actual number that it breaks down to, that will tell you what stage you're at, because we don't really pick our houses, the houses pick us, right? And so the house that I was in, the number broke down to a number that was a party number. I think it was 5. It broke down to a 5. That's a party number, right? And my number is a 5. So I thought, oh, that would be a good match, right? So if that number broke down to a 5, well, I'm in a situation. Well, if I was in still in that house with that 5 energy, then I would not handle this situation right now, right, properly. Right now, I'm in a house that's a 2, which is a 2 is associated with diplomacy. And so, being that I'm in a diplomatic house, I know automatically I have to handle these things diplomatically. And so I don't want to go overboard like I normally would in handling this situation and handling these entities, because that's not what this situation calls for. And I can see, Shalom. I'm glad you see that I'm on the live stream. That situation does not call for, over the top response. What it calls for, and remember, there's no 10, so it breaks down to a 1. So that's there's so much with that. I just don't even want to get to it. The numbers literally are like 1 to 9. There is no 0, and zeros are placeholders for the next set. So we have to really get that in our mind. Except for like the 11 is like a master number because it's two ones together. So right, but it breaks down to a 1, not a 10. Because you got to take the 0. The 0 is a placeholder. The 0 is not a real actual number. So and that's going to be a whole separate conversation once I can really get into that, because it's really complicated. It's really, really complicated information. But anyway, long story short, I know that my current situation calls for diplomacy. So instead of when, for me, being diplomatic in a situation like this would be me avoiding confrontation, because what do demons want more than anything? They want your energy. And so if I was to engage in a confrontation at this point, I would be giving them my energy. And my energy is very valuable. I'm not willing to give my energy into this situation. I have explained to these people how I will resolve the problem that they have with me. It's a very simple thing to solve, and they're still running around talking about what they're going to do, why they can't get me to confront me. And I am not going to be confronted. I'm just not. And so, because I need all of my energy for what I'm working on. And so you have to look at your numbers and see what that means. Your numbers will tell you the whole story. Not only the number year that you were born, you got the date, you got the month, you have the and if you think about it, in the Bible, the sister was pointing this out to me. In the Bible, it doesn't tell you the name of the month that happened. It tells you the number of the month. In the third month of the fifth day of the third month of the 23rd year. Why does it tell you that? Why would it tell you that? Why would it not just say on March 3rd, 2021? No, it tells you the dates, the numbers. Why? Because the numbers will tell you the story of what's going on. The numbers tell you the entity that you're dealing with. Just like the Grabavoy numbers that I did the meditations with. The numbers will tell you what's happening. The numbers connect you directly to the entity that can help you basically. And the numbers connect you directly to the mother. The mother operates in numbers. Now there is some, so that is to say, if you are feeling the void, I know I've been all around. If you're feeling the void, like, the Most High is not as close as he used to be, this is because he's trying to get you used to dealing with the mother. The mother is a little bit different. So what you have to do is incorporate more numbers in your life. What I did was I started looking at the time that I got up. I always woke up before my alarm clock. Always, usually, unless these people had stressed me out so much that I can't. But I typically wake up before my alarm clock, and all I would do is go and look that number up on Pinterest and see what does that number mean, and it would give me comfort for the day. Like, oh, this is what this day is going to be like. This is what this day is going to be like. These are what I call the subtle energies, and they're subtle because it's very easy to see a bird or a sign that has a name on it, or listening to watching a movie and shalom shalom, watching a movie and something specific happens. It's much more, it takes much more work to notice the numbers in your life, because they have done a lot to hide. Just as life tried to hide astrology, they tried to hide tarot cards. They tried to hide numbers from you. They make math the worst subject. They make it totally unrelatable, and they make it way more complicated. Plus, then they added a zero, which doesn't exist, and they just make it extremely complicated. And so that is so funny, because I also lived in a nine house. And that's a whole nother thing. Actually, I've lived in a nine house, and my zip code was a nine, and I had a lot of nine energy. And I have a lot of nines generally in my energy. So, look up that number though and look for what it means. That's the point. Look, Pinterest is the easiest way to look it up. That's where I go to look up all my numbers. So, the point is, you have to bring more numbers into your life. You have to recognize the numbers. So I was suggesting to one of the sisters, like, if you notice a bird or something that happens, right? Something weird happens. Look at the time. The whole point is the mother and the father work together. We were always just looking at one half, which is the things we could see, the things we could actually, the tangible things. Numbers are less tangible. Even though we have fingers and toes, numbers are less tangible, right? So it's interesting to try to correlate things that happen in down into numbers. And that's really what we have to do. So for example, I have 7 people watching and I have 3 likes. That's 10, which I know breaks down to a 1. And 1 is like a new beginning. So for me, I'm like, yeah, I should probably have begun this live stream over again, because I spent the first 10 minutes on a bunch of nonsense. You know what I mean? So, but that's just a message, and I could take that in my mind, like, okay, this is my new beginning. I also happen to be in a 1 year. One of my year numbers is 1 for my year. I'm also in a personal 7 year. So it's a lot of stuff going on with that. And so you have to look and see what the numbers are. So when things happen to you, you can recognize that, oh, this is because I'm in a 1 year. This is because I'm in the 2 house. This is because I'm in whatever the number is. You can see where it's playing out. So it's not that the Most High has, left us or anything like that. Is that now we're being called to the next level. We've graduated. We're going on to the next level. And the next level happens to be more subtle energies. Not just subtle energies in our charts, but literally the subtle energies in our everyday life. So pay attention to the numbers around you. That will help you more connect with the Holy Spirit. And I have found that since I have connected more with the numbers, I've gotten a lot of this information about the scarves and the shivelings, and all of this stuff has come as a result of me paying attention to the numbers. And as the more I pay attention to the numbers, the more of the Holy Spirit that I can feel. And this is kind of like a preparation, because like I mentioned before, in a couple days we have Pentecost. The Holy Spirit is going to descend. The black dove is coming. And I do want to talk about that a little bit, because I'm still not 100% sure of what this means for us. You know, there is a lot of powerful energy that's coming in on the 18th, right? And the 19th. It's a huge conjunction with a bunch of planets that are all going to be in Taurus. And so if you're in Taurus energy, sorry, if you're in Taurus energy, my nose. Let me talk about the congestion real quick. If people have a lot of congestion right now, right, it's because a lot of this black magic that people have been doing on us, right? Let's just know for a fact people have been doing black magic on us, like period. There's no getting around it. People have been doing black magic on us knowingly and unknowingly, and a lot of people have been doing stuff knowingly and lying about it, all kinds of stuff. So if you have a lot of congestion coming out, like me, I've been congested for like over a week and a half now. This is all of the residue from that black magic that they've been doing on us coming out. So there's a combination of things going, right? On one hand, you have yourself and your shadow side that you have to deal with. On the other hand, you have people who are trying to steal your destiny and who are, they just do black magic on you and they just hate you, and there's no even reason why they hate you, right? You have these two different things going on. And so we don't want to confuse what is our shadow side versus what is black magic. The things that your shadow side will keep you low vibrational, right? It's like if you have not resolved your issues with your shadow, you cannot vibrate at a high enough vibration that the black magic won't affect you. But when you are vibrating at a high enough vibration, no matter what these people do, it can't affect you. But if you're vibrating at a low vibration, the black magic can affect you because you're on the same vibration. And so that's why it's imperative to get to a higher vibration. The only way you can get to a higher vibration is to deal with your shadow, the stuff that you don't want to deal with. You need to deal with that stuff so that you can vibrate high. Once you begin to vibrate high, the black magic doesn't work. And not only that, it gets returned back to where it came from because it has to go back. Nobody's word goes out void. So you have to that word that they spoke has to go back to them because it can't go back, it can't go out void. But if you're vibrating low enough that it can hit you, that you're on the same vibration of the black magic, then it can't hit you. So you want to be vibrating high, and you vibrate high by dealing with your shadow. You meditate more time with spirit, pay attention to your numbers, tap in, right? And so on the other side, we do have people who are doing magic against us and witchcraft against us. These people who are vibrating low, that want to be who we are, who want to steal our destinies, who want to steal our power. That is a real thing. And so that stuff will automatically return back to the people once you deal with your shadow side. So you really have to, you can't just blame it on people doing stuff to you. Now, in hindsight, I feel like once you start to vibrate high, the angels will show you what has been going on in the background. But if you're until you vibrate high, they can't show you what has been happening because you will go back and do tit for tat with them, right? But once you start to vibrate high, once you ascend by vibrating on a higher vibration, they can show you what has been going on so that you can be aware of why things were happening to you. Like, I was wondering why I had to be extracted out of my house and extracted out of my life. Not once, but like 3 or 4 times. I'm seeing, this happened to me more than once. I just didn't know that's what it was the first and the second time that it happened. But I had to be extracted out more than once. And I said, well, why is that? And that's because there's family members of mine who've been doing black magic against me. And I did not know that. But now that I'm on a higher vibration, I can see all the things that have been going on. And why these things affected me is because before I was vibrating at a lower vibration. And now that I'm at a higher vibration, this stuff is not, there's nothing that it can't hit me. It's going to go directly back to them. And that is why the judgment is going to be so heavy, because these people have been doing this stuff to us, especially chosen seed, blah, 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 powerful, whatever, for a long time. And they've been siphoning our power. I said maybe a month and a half ago, spiritual incest. These people in our families have been conducting spiritual incest. They coveted our birthright, they coveted our power, and they have been siphoning off our power and using it to get rich. In my case, to get rich, to get houses, to have kids, all this stuff they've been literally siphoning off our power. My own case, my power, so that they could live the life that they wanted. And that's just in my mind. I'm like, I must have been so powerful. It's so many people who were literally siphoning off my energy. And now that I'm vibrating on a higher vibration, which it took me, being removed from my hometown, then being removed from my other house, then, being put in this place and all this stuff for me to be able to vibrate high enough to put enough space between me and that energy that I could vibrate high enough so that I could see what has been going on. And now I'm very clear, which is why when I was watching the girls' videos, I was like, oh, this is not one person who's been doing this to me. This is one spirit. Again, as I talk about the Antichrist spirit and the Jezebel spirit, those are the two top dogs. They travel together. So the Antichrist spirit will mock you. The Jezebel spirit will abuse you. And so when you have abuse, you have mocking. They go hand in hand. And that's what this is. This is this pattern playing out over and over. They don't have a new pattern. And so once you vibrate high above that, those entities, they can't hit you with that mocking or with that Jezebel spirit. They can't hit you with that. And we know that's true from the story of Elijah. If you look at Elijah, what happened with him is that when he was running away from Jezebel, right, the Antichrist spirit was mocking him, making him think that Jezebel was going to kill him. And what happened? The angel, his guardian angel, his higher self, whoever, was keeping him alive as he traveled through the wilderness. Well, that's what we've been doing. Our higher selves have been stopping us, feeding us, keeping us alive as we've been traveling through the wilderness, running away from this Jezebel spirit. But what happened when Elijah went back? That's the thing. This is what they're afraid of. When Elijah went back, he challenged Jezebel. He said, bring me 450 of your prophets. Let's see what they can do. Put them up against my God. And what happened? 450 prophets slain. Their blood was running like the river. That's what's going to happen. They know that's what's going to happen. That's the story. Elijah is our story. This has always been our story. It's just that people were misinterpreting it. They couldn't put themselves in the story, but I can put myself in the story and I can see literally this is what has happened. I was in the desert running around. My higher self is trying to give me provisions so that I can make it to the temple, and then the temple is inside of me. And once I get to the temple, which is my higher self, my higher vibration, then I can go back to Jezebel and challenge her and say, what is wrong with you? You're not going to do this to me. Or in this case, with this whole bus situation, I could say to these people, you are not going to take my energy and use it for yourself. Y'all can keep it. I don't need your energy, just like I don't need your currency, okay? Because if people think that the currency is more important than my energy. No, my energy is far more important. Number one. Number two, is more powerful. And so I don't care about their currency. I was never doing it for the currency in the first place, which is what's wrong with these stupid people. I was never doing it for the currency. But now, guess what? That boomerang is going to hit back on them so hard. And I'm not responsible for what my ancestors do. I'm not. But I will not be bullied, and I will not be mocked, and neither will those high. So it is what it is. I didn't do anything to these people. These people should have just left me alone, and they never do. Because it's not them. I know it's not them. I have nothing against them as people. It is the spirit that they willingly are vessels for. I have nothing to do with that. That Antichrist spirit and that Jezebel spirit. That's deals that they made with those things. Don't bring me into it. Because I am Elijah in this. We gonna slay everybody. Elijah, he knocked everybody down. Don't make me do it, because I have no problem with slaying every spirit, every demon, in the name of the Most High God. And y'all gonna be laying on the ground, and I'm gonna have nothing to say. Y'all should have left me alone. And so that is what they are worried about. These spirits are more worried about that than anything. And so they will leave these people out here high and dry to deal with the karma that's coming to them. Because guess what? The spirit isn't actually doing anything. It's the person. It's like this the spirit jumps on the person. This is what I observe when I see these spirits jump on people. The spirit jumps on the person, and it convinces the person to do what. Ooh, we gotta leave all old houses behind. That's a whole nother thing. The spirit jumps on these people, and then they start lying to them. Yeah, that's the person who's doing this. This person's doing that. She's lying about this. She's lying about that. Next thing you know, the person, again, just like the lover's card, they think they're talking to an angel, but it's really the devil card, a demon that they're talking to. And instead of being like, oh well, this don't really seem right. This person is not really like this. They can't tell the difference. And so they think they're talking to an angel. It's really the demon. They go out and do something nasty. And of course they did if they do something nasty to me, the angels and my ancestors are going to jump back on them 100-fold. And so they're going to end up dealing with it. And I have nothing to do with it. I didn't do anything. I'm totally innocent. I just did what I was supposed to do. But I understand now what's going on, so I don't hold it against the people. I just say, Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy on these people for letting these demons jump on them. But I ain't letting no demon jump on me, which is why you need to be protected. Again, balance your energy out and all that. You got to be protected at all times. So I'll tell you, guys, a little bit about how this whole issue with the school stuff started, right? So, I did my daughter's play thing last week, and they decided that some of the stuff that I got they didn't want to pay for, but it was after they had already been reimbursed. And so somebody came to me and said, "Oh, well, we're going to actually need to have a meeting about this, right?" And I said, "I don't need a meeting. Tell me what you're not going to pay. Give me my receipts and I will give you the money. I don't care. This has never been about the money. This is about my daughter having a good experience with her thing. I don't care about the money. I know how much money we made. That's me. But y'all don't want to cover it. That's fine." So they've just been carrying this thing on for like 2 weeks almost now. Let the Lord have mercy for letting them be used by wicked spirits. Exactly. Sometimes it's to teach us a lesson, and sometimes it's for whatever, but it's not my problem. So now these people have an even bigger problem, because not only do they have a problem with me, they have now woken up all of these spirits who are like going to come back against them. And so it has nothing to do with me. This was never even it only reason was about me is because I was involved. But this is really about, people are revealing that they are carriers of these spirits, and that cannot be denied. That cannot be denied. And so we have to be very, very careful about the thoughts that come into our head. We need to be sure we know which thoughts are ours and which thoughts are not ours. And that comes with meditation, and even carefully responding to things. So like, one of the sisters had said something to me, and I was like, oh, I don't know about that. And then I was like, you know what, maybe this is right. Let me just, let me not throw what somebody is telling me out the window because I don't see it. Let me see if I can see what they're talking about. And we have to be able to do that. And if somebody is right, then they're right. And if they're wrong, then they're wrong. In the case with these people, they're wrong. They're wrong all day. There's no way they're possibly right. But, and I've looked at this a bunch of different ways, and I've thought, well, maybe I was wrong. No. I'm not wrong. And, there's more information. Of course, there's more to the story, which is why I don't need to be involved with people who operate like this. You know what I mean? And in general, like, I don't need this kind of drama. I don't have time for this. This is taking up way too much of my brain. Just trying to avoid having an argument with people, because at this point, in this time, when you argue with people, you can be very concerned that's going to end up with either jail or death. Like, I don't want to argue with anybody because I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I just don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to come out of me because I do have my own shadow stuff that I deal with and my ancestors, and some of them are good and some of them are not so good. And I have no idea what's going to jump out of me when I have to engage somebody. So to protect myself, I won't engage in no type of arguing or anything like that. And if somebody wants to argue with me, then they need to argue with themselves. They don't need to argue with me because I'm not having an argument. We can have a conversation, but I already told them how I wanted to resolve this. It's very easy. I don't care. If y'all gonna tell me that you're not paying for any of it after you made all of this money, that's fine too. Give me my money back. I mean, give me my receipts back so that I can document it on my taxes. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care. Because it was never about me. It's not even about them. It's about my child and me doing what's right for my child. And so nobody seems to understand this in this whole situation. And so many people may be dealing with situations like this. And that's why I just detailed it a little bit, because I feel like this is a very common thing that's going on amongst people right now. These people are out of control, which is why you don't want to argue with anybody. You don't want to get into arguments right now. You just have no idea what spirit is going to jump out of them. A lot of people are carriers for these spirits. And it's much better not to risk having something that you don't know jump out on you. And like when they were trying to confront me, I was unprotected. I didn't have my scarf. I didn't have my necklace. I have no protection. I was completely unprotected, which is why I'm telling you, please do not leave out the house unprotected. Even if you're in the house and you're talking to people who have, like, you don't know what kind of energy on, protect yourself. Because that's why I got my kyanite, that I showed y'all. I got my kyanite sword, chopping these people up. Like, don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. And it's not that I think I need stuff to protect me. It's just that just in case, whatever entity thinks he's going to get froggy and come at me, you got a whole lot of stuff you got to deal with. You may choose somebody easier to attack. Don't choose me. I'm not the one, because you're going to have to pay for that. And all these entities are going to have to pay for what they've done. Jumping on all of these people and causing all these people to do all this stuff. They're going to have to pay for all of that. It has nothing to do with me. I didn't, I'm not making the rules, but they're violating. There's major violations. There's major violations. And so I just implore people to, really take their vibration, their energy, staying high, take that very seriously. I also implore people to look at the numbers in their life and see, look up what all those numbers mean, and, invite more numbers into your life. Something else that I'm going to do is that I already decided that, like, I want to go on more cruises and stuff, right? So a long time ago, I heard you can get free cruises by going to the casino and stuff like that. And so what I started to do was look at, okay, well, how is this done? I just looked at some YouTube videos. Well, lo and behold, it's a whole strategy. It's a whole lot of stuff. And one of the things that, in one of the videos or some of the videos I was watching, the people would play craps. And craps is a numbers game. So I'm like, so not only am I going to, like, learn how to play craps, learn how to bet so I don't lose all my money, blah, blah, blah. I'm also going to invite more numbers into my life in that way, because it's all about, the numbers, the odds, the bets, this, that. That's a lot of numbers that can be brought into my life. So it will not only connect me more with the spirit, it will also, get me what my goal is, which is to get on more cruises. And so that's just what I'm doing. I mean, everybody do something different, but you find different ways to bring the numbers into your life. And the easiest way is just look at the time that you wake up. What time do you wake up? And then look at what that number means. That's the easiest way. And then look at your actual birth, the age that you are, your year, your numbers, and your name. All these things, all these numbers mean something. All these numbers are the angels that are with you. And so you want to know better yourself, you need to know your numbers better. It's just like when you go to the doctor, most of the time when you get a bunch of tests, they're all numbers. Why? The numbers tell you the whole story. It's just that they made you think it was only the way that they interpret the numbers. There's lots of ways to interpret numbers. not just the way that they tell you. So when numbers jump out to you, you want to look up those numbers and see what they mean, and you want to see how they apply and fit in your life. And I think that, as we work at incorporating more numbers in our life, we will feel the spirit. Because me, I feel extremely close with the spirit. But I look at numbers a lot now, way more than I ever did before. And now I got 11. I got a 5 and a 6, 11, and I got 11, 11 followers. So anyway, these numbers will start to really tell you the story. And for me, the numbers are very comforting. I mean, this has taken a few weeks for me to get used to, because it is a different way of interacting with the spirit. But I feel like it is more natural to deal with the spirit this way than to deal with the spirit in the way that we have been doing previously. Um, because previously it's been a lot of physical things, and it's not that numbers aren't physical, it's just that they take more to into it. Like, it's numbers are not obvious. Numbers are far less obvious than like a bird, like I said, or a sigil or whatever. But those Grabavoid numbers, if you guys haven't listened to those short meditations that I did, they have been extremely effective for me. Definitely look into Grabavoid numbers, the frequency of those numbers, the different ones, what you're trying to accomplish. Those things are very, very powerful. And a long time ago, I suggested people take their meditation seriously. 7 and 7. Um, I'm still encouraging people to take their meditation extremely seriously, and find ways to meditate more. Meditation is not just sitting with your eyes closed. It could be like taking a walk in nature. Like me, I've been walking on the beach every day, getting my feet in the sand, and blah, blah, blah. Those kind of things. Meditation can be, playing with your kids or your grandkids. Meditation can be driving, and thinking, on, different things that are related to you. You meditate when you focus on yourself. That's what meditation is. You feel more of yourself. And so that's what we need to do. We need to feel more about ourselves, and not just the ourself that's on the outside, but the ourself that's on the inside. And as we do that, we will feel our connection with the Most High get stronger. And it is a different way of connecting with the Most High. And so that's why I want to do a video about it, because I know that this is a very difficult time for everybody. It's certainly a difficult time for me. I'm having an extremely difficult time getting tested again and again and again. But now that I know that I'm vibrating high enough, because I'm being shown why. I'm getting the answer to my why questions. Why this happened to me? Who these people are? What are these people doing? Now that I'm above it, not above it as in better, but I'm on a different vibrational level. Now that I'm for sure on a different, I've graduated to the next vibrational level. I'm seeing the level that's beneath me, and I'm seeing, wow, there was a lot of, I mean, it's not even, it's a lot of, there's a lot of people in my life who are susceptible to those entities. And I feel really, I feel really bad. I really hope the Lord has mercy on them. And some people I know he won't. Nothing I can do about that. But I feel really bad for these people that have made themselves open and willing vessels for whatever entity brushes past them. And, there will be a serious price to pay. And I'm completely prepared to see some very, very untimely deaths that are going to be very sad. But it is what it is, because everybody has to pay for what they've done. And you can't say the devil made me do it. That's not a good enough excuse. You're gonna have to pay for that. And so I do feel not remorseful, but I do feel for those people who have made these decisions. But I also understand that the Most High's will be done, and our will is free will, And so those people who engage in these malicious attacks against me on all these different levels are all going to have to face some sort of consequence for that. And it's not going to be a quick and easy consequence for a lot of people. It's going to be a slow, painful one, because of just the nature of what has been done to me, you know. And we can look on many people in our lives and see that it's going to be like that. I do suggest not dwelling in that energy too long, because it can bring your vibration down. And, you know, I don't have time for my vibration to be brought down. I really want to keep my vibration high. That's my top priority. And it's like making myself my top priority, not just that my vibration is my top priority. I am my top priority. So if something is affecting me, then I need to remove it. And I need to only engage in those things that make me feel like high vibrational. And the things that bring my vibration down, I cannot engage in them. And I have noticed that my taste in things have changed. Um, and not just my taste in like videos and stuff like that, but literally like my taste in food has changed, my taste in drinks have changed. Um, you know, just my taste has changed. Um, Even my ability to process like processed sugar, it's not the same. I can't really do a lot of super sweet stuff. It's very specific. I don't have like sugar cravings like I used to have. Um, I just don't. Like, I drink juice and I have water, and you know, I don't feel a lot of the things. So a lot of these things I do think are like ascension symptoms of your body just coming from that lower vibration and going into a higher vibration. Um, Another suggestion I have is, if you're looking for like more linen clothes, look at Tai Chi clothes, because a lot of the Tai Chi clothes, especially the Tai Chi pants, are linen. And so when I get ready to buy some pants, I'm going to buy Tai Chi pants, because they're linen. And, you know, and they have a lot of the Tai Chi shirts that are linen, and they're flowy and this and that. So, and you want to try and get as much linen and cotton as you can. The other Now, polyester and rayon, they do have their place, especially like when you sleep at night. If you don't want to be attacked in your sleep, you definitely, you know, might want to, you know, wear a head wrap, and a headscarf that will keep these things from being able to see you, because when you wear polyester and rayon, it's basically like being dead. And sometimes you just don't want these entities on you. So there is a place for this kind of stuff, but you just got to know when to use it, especially when you're doing spiritual things. You want as much cotton and as much linen. Linen is better than cotton as possible, especially on your head. And then, you know, if you're just trying to be ignored by these people in the streets, you put on stuff that makes you look dead. But the problem is that people who are also dead will be able to see you. So you just have to keep that in mind, that if you're when you're dealing with a lot of lower level entities, if you put on stuff that is of a lower vibration, those lower vibrational people can see you, unless you put on something that blocks you, which the silk is a blocker. It doesn't it blocks. It's a complete block. But like just rayon or polyester, that just brings you down to the vibration of all the dead people. You know, the people who are dead, that are walking around dead in spirit, and that you don't necessarily want to be seen by those people. So I truly believe that these people haven't been able to see me because I've been wearing my scarf. I truly believe it. Whatever entity is on them, they can't get anywhere near me. I don't intend to deal with this much longer. However, um, I don't intend to deal with this much longer. Let's just put it that way, because it's ridiculous. It's just totally ridiculous. People acting like and behaving like children, and I don't have to deal with it, and so I'm not. But in the meantime, I block myself. I spend a lot of time and energy making sure that I'm blocked, and so I definitely want to pass that along to people, because moving forward, when the entities really start to roam the earth in their natural form, you are want to think about what is going to, you know, reflect them away from you and what's going to block them. And sometimes when you need to get onto their level to get stuff done, then you want to know what you can wear to do that. And that's just something to think about. So I'm not going to make this live stream too long. If you came in late, you can go back to the beginning, but I don't think I started talking for real until like 3 minutes in or something, and I didn't even get to the point until like 10 minutes in. So you could really skip the first 10 minutes, because for the first 10 minutes it was a little messy. It was a little messy for the first 10 minutes. So I hope that everybody is well. Remember, we have new moon that's coming in a few days, and so and also we have the descension of the black dove. So you definitely want to set your intentions for Thursday, which is actually also our Shabbat this year on the mother's timeline. So you know, it's a very, very powerful day on Thursday. Set your intentions. Don't be distracted like I almost was and totally forgot how many things are happening on Thursday, and all the alignments. So set your intentions and really do what you can to take advantage of the energy. If I will look up anyway, if I find a specific thing that I'm going to do, I'll let you guys know. I still have a day to think about it, and I really forgot, so I don't have anything to talk about right now. And if you have questions about anything of the stones or whatever I talked about, send me an email, and I will get back to you. I know I'm very slow on the emails, but I've been very, very overwhelmed. I'm not going to lie about that. The shadow readings are very, very intense, and doing so many of them right at the beginning of the retrograde was was a little foolish of me, and overindulgent, because I didn't think the retrograde was going to affect me, and that was really wishful thinking, because that's not what happened. I got hit, and I'm still, you know, coughing up mucus and stuff like that. So I know for a fact that this stuff that they sent to me is now being returned to them. So it's, you know, Lord have mercy on their souls, because I don't think my ancestors are. So shalom, everyone, and we'll see you in the next video.